We're taking out more of their fighters and leaders, their weapons, their oil tankers. Our special operations forces are on the ground because we're going to hunt down these terrorists wherever they try to hide.
Let's bring in Tara Muller, the former military analyst at the CIA. Tara is now a research fellow in the International Security Program at the New America Foundation. And Tara, with a welcome to you. How effective can the overseas military effort be preventing terror attacks in this country like the one we saw in San Bernardino?
Well, I think what you need to see is both efforts simultaneously working together. There's two parts to the counter-ISIS strategy. Part of it is the airstrikes in the coalition building and the things you've seen President Obama speaking about. The other part of this is the domestic law enforcement side of the equation. Homeland security, intelligence collection, intelligence sharing, the visa waiver legislation that passed the House earlier this week. Those are things on the back end here at home that we need to see happening in conjunction with the overseas strategy, and both are equally important.
So this report, I'm sure you're familiar with, it was released last month by the New America Foundation, and it found that for the foreseeable future, ISIS-inspired violence will pose the most likely threat to the United States. Tara, is this a war that has to be fought on more than one front? I mean, does the U.S. also have to fight some sort of a battle of ideas and philosophy here?
Yeah, the fight against ISIS isn't just about what's happening overseas. It's what's happening online. It's what's happening culturally. It's about really bringing the fight to multiple levels. Law enforcement, homeland security, countering extremism overseas, and also, offices at the State Department working on countering violent extremism, shutting down the messages and the propaganda that are appealing to young, disenfranchised, disillusioned younger people around the globe that have found ISIS's message very appealing.
And you talk about the online component. I mean, can social media companies like Facebook and Twitter, can they really do anything to block ISIS-related communication through their services?
You know what? They really can, and they actually have been doing quite a bit to date. Over the past year, we've seen Twitter cracking down on ISIS-supporting accounts. They've been carrying out suspensions. They've been taking down material that reaches a certain threshold. But we do have to remember, these are tech companies. They're not the State Department. They're not the CIA. They're not the FBI. So they rely on, cooperation with law enforcement agencies in order to make these things happen, and they rely on community members to flag material. They don't have security analysts. So there's a practicality element to this that makes it quite difficult. But I think you've seen a good faith effort with companies like Twitter turning over information when it's warranted. FBI Director Comey has said that they've complied with a number of requests. He was saying this publicly the other day. And I think you've seen a good faith effort, whether or not on the encryption issue, which affects other companies, what's going to happen with that and the backdoor entry to encryption. That affects companies like Google and Apple.
Okay. Tara Muller, thank you so much. That's